I think Tony Abbott would do what he felt he needed to do to get into power or have power, if that's going to be possible. But I would like to see somebody with a deep conviction about where Australia will go and who will have some constance in terms of important policy. And that's not been demonstrated by the current Liberal Party.
Tony Abbott wants to run our trillion-dollar economy, but so far in this election he's racked up $21 billion in uncosted promises. It's little wonder his old boss John Hewson said he has no interest in economics and has no feeling for it. He is innumerate. And when Peter Costello was asked whether he'd endorse him, he said,
"Oh, not on economic matters, but Tony."
Don't risk him.
Authorised N. Martin, ALP Canberra.
I also think that if you want to put a price on carbon, why not just do it with a simple tax?
Good morning, sir. How are you? Oh, really?
Mr Abbott insists the carbon tax will cripple the coal industry.
Oh, really?
Tony Abbott, on another matter, have you met Archbishop Pell during the election campaign?
Not that I can recall.
Not that you can recall, because we believe that you've had at least one meeting with him quite recently.
Well,
when? You don't
Where?
recall that? At the Presbytery in Sydney.
Actually, now that you mention it, I did meet with Cardinal Pell. So what? Why shouldn't I meet with Cardinal Pell?
With an apology to the terminally ill asbestos diseases campaigner Bernie Banton after this remark yesterday.
Just because a person is sick doesn't mean that he is necessarily pure of heart in all things.
You've said that you feel threatened by gay and lesbians Australians. How should we feel about you as a Prime Minister?
Okay, well that was a very... It was a very poor choice of words on my part. I shouldn't have used that word. I'm sorry that I used that word, because the last thing I want to do is to make any Australian feel threatened or vulnerable or unappreciated, and I would do my level best to govern for everyone.
Would that include gay marriage?
Well, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. I certainly want to see, just as a general principle, I want to see stable, committed relationships, but I do think that a marriage, by definition, is between a man and a woman.
Look, a soldier has died, and you shouldn't be trying to turn this into a subsequent media circus.
The soldiers shouldn't. I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I'm not turning into a media circus. I'm showing you vision of your reaction to his explanation about what happened on the day in the operation in which McKinney was killed. How's that turning into a media circus? Okay, well tell me, what's the context, and if it's out of context, what is the context? You're not saying anything, Tony.
I mean, if Tony Abbott ends up the Prime Minister of Australia, I mean, you've got to say, God help us. God help us, you know. An intellectual, truly an intellectual nobody. And no policy ambition, you know. I mean, is that all there is? You know the song, is that all there is? I mean, is that where we'd be, really? I mean, I used to... Look, he turned up in the last couple of years when I was Prime Minister. I always regard him as a sort of resident nutter on their side. You know, now, you know, where is the thought-out position? I mean, a Conservative Party can have a thought-out position. I mean, I saw this program last night with Malcolm Turnbull. I mean, the difference is Turnbull had an articulated, intelligent, moderate, thought-out Conservative position. I mean, the fact is that Abbott does not have this.
I think it would be folly to expect that women will ever dominate or even approach equal representation in a large number of areas.
Simply because their aptitudes, abilities and interests are different for physiological reasons.
I won't be rushing out to get my daughters vaccinated against cervical cancer.
Climate change is absolute crap.
Abortion is the easy way out. It's hardly surprising that people should choose the most convenient exit from awkward situations.
There may not be a great job for Indigenous people, But whatever there is, they just have to do it.
And if it's picking up rubbish around the community, it just has to be done.
These aren't our quotes.
They're all things Tony Abbott has said in the past.
But there is one thing he's right about.
Politicians are going to be judged on everything they say.